Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another look back at the 1978 science fiction television series Battlestar Galactica, the original Battlestar Galactica. I keep saying that, I can't stop, it comes automatically out of my mouth whenever I say the 1978 Battlestar Galactica. Anyhow, this particular episode is titled Murder on the Rising Star. I believe, from what I read, if I'm not mistaken, they had to rewrite the entire script in 36 hours because Glenn A. Larson was at the time, I think, vacationing in Hawaii, so they couldn't reach him, and they had to quickly do some rewrites on a previous script that was given. That was actually titled Fire in Space, but that is a title for another episode, which has got a different plot altogether. So this particular episode has got a small role, a brief appearance by an actor who is famous for another science fiction television series, albeit in the 80s, Frank Ashmore from We, the miniseries and the originals, the original miniseries and the Final Battle, as well as the television series. He played a double role as Martin and I can't remember the other one right now. Yeah, so Philip, Martin and Philip. So an actor who's also been in some other movies like Airplane and Airplane the sequel. So yeah, I was very happy the first time that I watched this episode and saw that he was in it. And let me tell you that this particular episode I watched for the first time in 2011. So like I mentioned, Frank Ashmore, he plays a pilot called Ortega, who is a rival to Starbuck. He and Starbuck do not get along. Ever since their academy days, they used to fight quite often. They clash quite a lot. So Ortega and his partner in the triad match, Barton, they are pairing off against Starbuck and Apollo in a triad match, and well, every chance he gets, Ortega seems to use his hands against Starbuck, tries to injure him a lot, and this starts to anger Starbuck. After a particularly rough hit, Starbuck gets annoyed and they start fighting it out. They both sent to the showers. Cassiopeia, who's worried while watching them, comes in and breaks up another fight in the hallways, and she tells Starbuck that being the medical officer, she's not a doctor, but she is a medical officer. She tells him that he needs to be ready in 10 minutes, and she needs to take him away back to the Galactica. There's a shuttle waiting for them. There's a shuttle that's going to be ready in 10 minutes, so he barely has enough time to go take a shower. While he is in the shower, Ortega is coming out of his coming out of his room. He sees somebody outside, and he says, "Well, I knew we'd have to come down to this," and he is shot dead. There is a man named Chella, who is not a bartender, but he is a dealer in Pyramid. He runs into Starbuck running away from the scene, and then when he comes in, he sees the dead body and he informs the authorities. So apparently Starbuck is now in trouble for the murder of Ortega, because it turns out it is his weapon that was actually shot. However, Starbuck pleads innocence, says he was taking a shower and he was trying to come as soon as possible. So as soon as the shower was over, he put on his uniform and ran straight to the docking bay where he could wait, where Cassiopeia was waiting for him, and he says it wasn't him. However, he is arrested and put behind bars because of the fact that it was his weapon. Starbuck chooses Apollo to be his prosecutor. His lawyer. They have a different name for it, but yeah, that's the and Boomer is supporting him. Of course, they are the two best friends that Starbuck has, more like family. And the prosecutor is an actor who we know quite well, especially in the Star Trek universe, because this actor would later on come and become what's his name? Brock Peters, yeah. So Brock Peters would later play the part, a recurring role as Benjamin Sisko's father, Joseph Sisko, who runs the restaurant on Earth. So again another familiar face. So he's been in several science fiction shows and other shows as well. So Brock Peters is another familiar face that you're seeing this particular episode. So while they are doing the investigation to see whether they can get they can showcase Starbuck's innocence, Apollo and Boomer find that there is a name. This is actually told by Barton. Barton says he doesn't think that Starbuck is the killer, but he tells Apollo and Boomer that Ortega once told him that if he ever gets killed, there's only one person who has the guts to pull it off, and that is a man by the name of Charybdis. So they don't know who Charybdis is, but they try and find out. Their search initially goes, doesn't show anything else. There's apparently Adama recognized the name and said he was working with Baltar, and therefore Baltar might be able to identify him. And apparently, this particular thing is actually taken on in the 2006 series as well. What was that? Adama recognized the name as being Baltar's pilot, and the man who sabotaged the Colonial Defense Grid, which led to the enormous success of the Cylon ambush. So, and there are no pictures of Charybdis around, but Baltar would be the one who can actually do it. So, meanwhile, Starbuck tries to escape from prison, thinking that he is going to be blamed because he sees a interview with the prosecutor played by Brock Peters' character. The prosecutor's name is Solon, and he basically leads almost everybody to the he's kind of concluded that Starbuck is guilty. So Starbuck thinks he's got no other option, and that he is going to go. Excuse me about that. That he is going to go to he's going to be jailed forever, possibly even killed for his. And then a lot of the prisoners who are there would not take kindly to a colonial warrior, and they might actually decide to play rough with Starbuck. So he tries to escape. However, finally Apollo is able to bring him back. Adama's really upset at Solon for having that interview, and he says nobody else except for Apollo and Boomer are allowed to meet Starbuck. Nobody else can go and meet him while he's in prison. Apollo decides that he finally has a plan. He speaks to Baltar, but Baltar wants something in return for helping them out. So Apollo comes on to a plan. They meet Chela, and Chela they find that Chela has been or had been blackmailed by Ortega. They find out that Chela was actually an engineer, and was he an engineer? Yeah. He was he actually gave money to Ortega for gambling losses, to pay off his gambling losses, because he was one of the he wanted a spot on one of the ships that was fleeing the colonies, and it was actually reserved for a woman or a child. Ortega did initially let him go, but then when he gave money, he said, "Okay, you can go in." But then he keeps blackmailing him, and therefore, Chela, while at the gambling table, he kind of lets Ortega win quite a lot, and that Ortega is also blackmailing two other people who did something very similar, Elias and Palon, and they're all brought to Galactica to testify. Now Apollo knows that there's something up, and he decides he's going to try and trick Baltar as well as Charybdis to show his face. So while he's got Baltar in the front seat, he tells Palon and Elias as loudly as possible. It's broadcast to everybody that he's saying that they actually found Charybdis, and that they're bringing him to they found Charybdis, and that he believes that Charybdis is on board with them, and then he sends them away. At the same time, we see somebody sneaking into the into the shuttle along with Baltar and Apollo, and Apollo tells Baltar that he believes Charybdis will live. Baltar is a little scared because he believes Charybdis might kill him because he's the only one who can actually identify him. And it turns out that Palon is actually Charybdis. Palon is just a fake name. So in a scuffle, Baltar helps Apollo, and Charybdis is actually, the Charybdis is knocked unconscious, but him mentioning that he's the one who killed Ortega was actually broadcast to the tribunal that was happening while Boomer was, and he basically Apollo let Boomer in on the secret, and Boomer played it for everybody live, so that they realized that yes, Starbuck was actually set up. Palon used Starbuck's weapon while he was in the shower to go and kill Ortega, who was blackmailing him way too much for his own liking. And because of that, Baltar is the Baltar is the unlikely hero of the day, and he isn't too fond of the fact that he actually rescued Apollo and Starbuck. But yeah, he kind of regrets it now, but at the same time, it's a little bit of help from him that Apollo is able to subdue Charybdis. So Charybdis is taken to prison, and Starbuck is acquitted, and at the end of the scene, you see Apollo and Starbuck going to play another game of Triad, and cheered on by the entire crowd, and that's the end of that particular episode. So yeah, it was some couple of the scenes that they showed that one of the cockpit hatches only was pretty damaged, and I'm trying to find out which one is the one. I may have to go and check it once again. I don't remember seeing it in this rewatch, but yeah, it apparently was really damaged, and in the scene it looks like the Viper is closing very very badly. Alright. Yeah, so that's about it. There's a couple of goof offs because if they could actually the reason why they find out somebody's actually gone onto the shuttle is because they read that there is a slight weight difference between when it's only Apollo and Baltar supposed to be in the ship, but the ship has suddenly increased weight. That's because of Charybdis getting inside, and how come they never got to do that when Boxy and Muffet got on one of the shuttles. So anyway, it's an okay episode. I don't really think of this as being one of the standouts, but to me the main reason that I really like this is because of Ortega, who is played by Frank Ashmore, as well as Brock Peters' performance. They both coming in, being well known for more bigger roles in other science fiction shows. It is nice for me to see them in there. I wish actually Frank Ashmore had a bigger role, and we could have seen him in multiple episodes, because I think he would have been a real good foil for Starbuck, and they could have had some clashes. Opportunity lost there. That could have actually led to some some rivalry and some tension between them. So that would have been more, but they didn't actually go anywhere that route. But to be honest, that is the reason why a lot of people say that the 2003 series is way better. There's a lot of friction, a lot of tension, and a lot of strife between people. But this is something they actually did miss on. I wish they could have actually kept him around. Not make him like an outright villain, but being kind of like an anti-hero kind of role. I would give this episode a 7 out of 10. I don't really like law episodes in science fiction, to be honest. It's very similar to the law court cases that you can see here, but it wasn't one of my favorites. It's okay. I mean, I don't think it's great, but yeah, I enjoyed more because of watching Frank Ashmore and Brock Peters. So anyway, that's it for this particular episode, and we are coming towards the end. We just got a few more episodes left, and then we move on to Galactica 1980. So thank you guys. Good night.